What's happening, everyone? We are back. Today is Sunday. Hope you're having an excellent weekend. I know, yeah, the price could be up, but that's something that's delayed gratification takes care of. I don't know how can I explain that one? How can I? It may go up in the future. Historically speaking, it's been good. I'm just not going to try to explain it. However, that's in the PulseChain atmosphere. I mean, if we want to talk about Giff, that'll that also went down some as well. However, the Pulse price, I got to say. The measured in Pulse has been pretty steady up and down a little bit, but the Pulse price has been maybe dragging down the USDC a little bit. We'll get into it though. Today we got a Permabulls stream. Originally, as I've conferred in the green room, this was going to be a community stream, and then turned into a Koolaid stream and maybe +1, and then it turned back into a community plus founder stream. So I'll get to chat in just a minute. Without further ado, let me bring some gentlemen who appear to be interested in real DeFi. Dom Hex Crypto Koolaid, the gearhead named Kinetics, Boogs, and Crypto Elite. How's it going, gents?
How you doing, guys?
Hello,
What's
Bob.
going on? Thanks for having
I
us.
get excited to be here with you, Max.
I know it, right?
We got
someone who critically thinks, and I like that.
I do like to be objective. I do like to think critically, all that good stuff. All the So 3 new guys today. We got Dom Hex Crypto, Boogs, and Crypto Elite, new to the stream today, new to RHMax.tv. Welcome, you 3 gents in particular.
Thank you.
I think it's actually all their 3 really first time streaming as well.
I think Crypto Elite was on RG3 the other day. I think, right?
Yeah, I was in there with him.
Technically,
That's
and
right.
Boogs. So almost. Maybe the second time then, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh, we got one other gentleman too. Hexmole
Hexmole in the house.
Hey, my man.
Can you hear me all right?
All right.
Yes,
Sound
sir.
good.
I don't know. For some reason, I always wanted to say Hexmole. I want to put like the little tilde at the end of it, like a.
That's
great.
It's like
Except they don't have Mexican food over where they have vinegar on French fries.
Yeah, it's not guacamole. Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to I want to make it festive for some reason. But anyways, welcome. Nice to meet you as well. First time on the show. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I don't think I've seen Hexmole before. Just in the chat, you guys have been killing it as mods and otherwise in the gearhead channels, all that stuff.
Thank you, sir.
Look at this. Even Crypto Elite was like, I'm not going to make this one, and then he showed up. There you go.
He always will show up. He is the warlord of this stuff. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I've been busy a lot with Giff, studying it every day for weeks by now. So it's a very interesting protocol. So, yeah.
I could tell. Yeah, you guys, just new guys on the show too. You want to give a quick introduction, just to how'd you come into PulseChain and how'd you get into Giff if you want to too. Start at the top. Dom Hex Crypto.
Hey guys, I bought the Hex top, like 80-90% the top, and then just sacked for PulseChain and then been around. So grew my T-shares 3x.
Not everyone is.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's. I fell in love with this community from the start when I heard these conversations on like Quant Gang and stuff, 4-hour conversations. Because I haven't seen anything in crypto like it, so I felt home. So I'm still around.
Awesome. Welcome. What about Crypto Elite?
Hello, everyone. I got into crypto in 2017. I've been through the ICO scams, and my father actually, I got him into crypto, and he got into the RH ecosystem at day 1 of Hex. And I told him it was a scam. I thought it was a scam, and I entered as well into Hex, and it seemed to be pretty decent. And I learned more about RH and fell in love with RH's community and its principles more over time. And that's what got me here.
Yep. RHMax for his ideals. That's what I like to repeat as well. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm here.
What about you, Books?
Yeah, well, me, I run a marine fish store, and there was a guy that sold me all his fish and all his coral, all his marine stuff, and he told me he was going in to buy some Richard Hart tokens, and I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And I was into Bitcoin back then, and I wasn't really too sure about what he was discussing with me. And me and him got to talking over a long period of time, and I ended up doing the same thing. And I've been into it for probably just over 2 years now. And then, long story short, I met somebody else through Telegram and through just talking online. And he talked me into coming into Giff, which I did. And it was a long few days. And then, long story short, he told me to get out of Giff, which I panicked and did. And if you remember, I don't remember if you guys know about it or not, but I had a position and I cheated out quickly because I panicked. And I jumped straight back in the next day, started speaking with Elite, and then the rest is history. I've watched it go to the moon. I've watched it consolidate back to where it is now, and it's just exciting to see something do what it did so quickly. And it's just it's amazing to me. And I've been doing research with Elite every day. He's been kind of teaching me because he knows a lot more than I do. He's into like the technological side of it. He's studying the different ways to do the LPs and to do the minting, and he's just doing different ways of doing it at the moment. And some of it seems to be working for him, so I'm happy about that. And yeah, I've just been slowly learning from him.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you happen to get out at 18 cents and back in at 4, we're not feeling sorry for you right now. Imagine it's not that situation.
No. No.
Yeah, it's like someone talked me into selling at the top, and then I got back in the bottom once I realized that it went down far enough. Like, yeah, not that kind of story.
That would have been good.
Yeah, awesome, man, awesome. What about Hex Small?
I got in a boat accident with John McAfee, and his hardware wallet landed onto my boat, and then I got wrench tacked, so I got out of crypto for a long while. But then I got into ICOSA at probably the top, because I kind of knew, like, this is kind of the top of Hex. This is like really heating up, like 10,000x. We got the sacrifice going on, and I just felt like, I didn't have the ability to get a good size position in Hex and stuff. But when Alex brought out Hedron, and it was like this whole new way to get exposure to a T-share, and it was just something to nerd out about, and I just got really into it. And it kind of wasn't even about the gains at that point, because I knew that we were just going to be bleeding out, for a long while. But it was super interesting. And then, like, he made the expansion pack with ICOSA, and then we started playing with the ranges, with the ceilings, and the arbing that you could do with the auctions. And that's kind of what's so cool about Giff, is it's reminding me of this whole system that we have that's like never finished. There's always kind of stuff that we're building on it, and what's cool about it is it's just something you can nerd out about. There's never an end to the like possibilities. I mean, Koolaid and Kinetics, they really don't tell us much, and most of the things that we think is coming down the pipe is just like sitting in the telegrams and kicking ideas back and forward, like, hey, what if Pulsar does this? Like, what if Pulsar sucks up all of the economic energy on ETH? And what if Giff takes all the energy from Pulse? And what if we merge Giff and Pulsar? And like, just all of this stuff. And none of this has come from anyone but like just the people in the Telegram nerding out. So it's like a nostalgia to ICOSA, top of the last bull. The good thing about this time, though, is we're kind of just at the very start of the bull, so it's going to be even cooler, I think.
Yeah, that's the really cool thing about, I noticed too. I mean, and Giff said this plenty of times of like, it's I really like the embodiment of you do the work. Like RH just said a million times, like, we want the community to go learn these things, right? Like even though it's frustrating sometimes to not know everything, or not be like, oh, why don't we talk more about that, or otherwise, even in Telegram streaming and all that stuff too. It is fun to see what comes next, and then like each thing kind of gets you excited for the next one. It almost sounds like a Ponzi scheme, almost in that way. Like each thing needs to keep locking up more things, so the people who no, let's not go to that road.
It's a little different, because like if you actually use the tools correctly that we're deploying and creating, you're actually not just a holder, you're a founder. You're putting the protocol first, in a protocol first based community, where we're putting the community first, because what's best for the protocol is best for the people that use the tools correctly. It brings that Richard Hart idealism back into forefront, instead of just trying to fork something, do something that doesn't have any heart and soul behind it. And that's what gets me passionate about it all the time. And same with everything with Core, same with everyone here that are going, slaying the Telegram rooms, that are keeping up with everything and are really putting their heart and soul into it, because this is their protocol. You are a founder if you use the tools correctly. And I think that's breaking minds on what will come into the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a ton just to every time. It's like one of those cliches almost, like, oh, you're so early, this is only the beginning, there's so much more to come, all that stuff. But I really do think with Giff, it is one of those projects where it is so wide open to build on. I mean, you literally take a concept that is, what can't you do with it? What coin can it be deployed on? What kind of like interactions can't it have? What kind of other, positive, almost I want to say positive externalities? What kind of like other things can't it bring to PulseChain? And that's when you have that kind of like just open landscape and you have the principles that are behind it. That's what gets me excited about, man, this is something I want to talk about. This is something that I want people to be excited about because, it's way, way different than a lot of the stuff going on PulseChain. I mean, there's good projects. There's projects that, you could criticize and all that stuff too. There's a spectrum of things that's people are building, but this is one of the ones where I'm like, this is so obviously, to me, again, from what I understand, obviously good and something that I want to see grow. And I want to see people really like make DeFi exciting again type of stuff. And that's what gets me so interested in talking about it all the time.
Yeah.
I
The
agree.
limit is really like your imagination, I think. What Koolaid was saying about being a founder and having your positions and holding these shares and stuff. I was thinking this is not just for Giff and PGIF, but Kinetics, I think, told me this, that the largest holder of ICOSA is the dead address now, which is crazy. And
for the bridged
For
in
ICOSA. The bridged in
ICOSA, right.
ICOSA.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
right.
which is
But,
amazing to see. Yeah.
Like I said, I feel the limit is your imagination. Like when you talk about being early, there could be a world where all of the top coins on PulseChain, the largest holder is a dead address, and that's like an OA with no, like, it's a truly trustless OA. Those coins are not going to move. You can't get wrench attacked out of those coins. Like, that just happens. And imagine like you're a hex holder, you're a ink holder, whatever it is, your position just holding, if people use the protocol, if they use the Giff tech, your position will grow. So it's like not just in Giff, but if you're in PulseX, like whatever we put it on, let's say in hex, and you're holding, like, you can go from turtle to squid just through people running the function of the system. And the only thing that's kind of like inhibits you is people not doing that. I really just see only upside with this.
Absolutely. It's a reverse OA based system. And we got that from the Richard Hart deals, and me, Kinetics, and the Giff. We're sussing that when we started with thinking about Polestar. How do we deploy something on fair launch? How do we put some interesting twist onto something that started with no OA, and then build something that creates a reverse OA that puts that economic energy into a safety net, and, as you were just saying, Mole, allows you to grow those sea creature ranks by just using the protocol, using the tools that are given to you. It automatically puts you first when you use a protocol first mentality. Oh wow, I didn't even see that at the bottom of GoPulse where it says the percent burn at the bottom. That is dope.
Shout out to GoPulse out there. You have built one of the best tools for metrics on chain right now, and we absolutely appreciate everything you do. So it's not just our project that he's supporting, it's so many different ones, and that's absolutely amazing. That and GoRealDeFi.com. So GoRealDeFi.com.
Yeah, hands down
That
for
is
the
GoRealDeFi.com.
It is hands down the easiest way to navigate stuff. So tip of the hat to you, Max, for doing that. It looks sharp. It looks very, very sharp.
I wanted it. So it was like, that's what I like about the ecosystem too. You want to see something happen, right? You want to use that. I want to use GoReal DeFi. I don't want to click the 3 links and then have the URL and then try to onboard people like that. I prefer not to do that, for most cases. So I wanted to have something like it. And it's like, okay, you make a website, it can scale to a lot of people, just as when you make a token, you make a platform, stuff like that. So yeah, that's the GoReal DeFi part. But yeah, GoPulse, I had no idea that I saw they added tokens. I knew they were doing some more stuff with things on PulseChain, but I didn't know each token had their own page. I don't know if someone asked them to put the burn percentage, or they just like identify it or manually, or to automatically have these heuristics that are like, oh, we know what's in the dead address. Automatically add burner to the widgets. I don't know, but that was pretty cool just to see that when I was looking up stats and stuff for GoPulse is actually a good way to look at Giff stuff and ICOSA and everything else too.
The only thing I've asked GoPulse to do is add Giff and Giff or PGIF to the bubbles, the crypto bubbles. So I'd like to think that maybe they're a fan of what we're doing over here and they went an extra step deeper. But regardless, love the tools they built and huge advocate for it. I've got a separate little mini screen in between my 2 monitors here that always has GoPulse on it. GoPulse.com is always pulled up in front of me. I can always look at it.
Yeah, it looks slick. It looks really, really slick. And I think that's the important thing, is that if you want to live in the future, you need to build it. And I think that's the most important part about all of us coming together, not just Gift Tech, the other people working on Pulse, and even people like stressing about where the price is today. Ethereum, when it launched, didn't have DEXs, didn't have aggregators, it didn't have lending platforms, didn't have all of that for its entire time growing. We have all of that maturing at the same time. So when that rubber bands, it's going to be fierce. And that's why people need to be patient. It takes a while to raise a child, and it takes a while to watch them crawl to needing training wheels on a bike. But once you see it all move, you're just like, wow, that happened way more fast than I was prepared as a parent to now have that all just happen and go away. So when you think about it, it's all about perspective, not just as, builders, not just as communities, mods, and people coming in. Perspective is so important. That's why, within core, we bring pillars to at least a talking point, because people aren't focusing on those core momentums that make sure you keep yourself in line to where you're going.
And can you guys too, just real quick, for people who haven't heard of like iBurn, for example, one of the protocols that Permabulls has been deployed on as far as community tokens and stuff go, that burner address that we're talking about, the 26% from the ICOSA that's been bridged over, is that all iBurn? Is that all just coming from the dead address of people minting? You guys talk about that for just a sec.
I believe it is. I haven't done a lot of chain analysis on that particular token, but I don't know of any other protocols out there trying to reduce the supply and bring the 2 ICOSAs to parity. iBurn was the first to do so, and I believe all 26% of that comes from people who wanted to see the reduction of ICOSA, the parity between the 2 ICOSAs, and get a more intrinsically higher valued asset as a response to that. So
one more tip of the hat. I was taking my personal self-help week this weekend, and I saw last night that Alex was live yesterday about something that he's doing. And tip of the hat to that man. He's an inspiration to all of us. That's actually how the Giff, RHMax, Fluff, and all of us came together, 3 years ago. Was the complexity that he did to wrap immutable code and turn it into something permutatable that makes things work. So tip of the hat to the white whale. He's an inspiration to all of us on what someone if they want to build, go get it done and do it, and do it without even saying, just drop it. Inspiration, 100.
Apparently he's migrating 360 terabytes of ZFS datasets to new hosts this weekend, which 99% of people don't know what even that means. I do. I have no context, but go ahead. Don't drink to that. Yeah, we all cheers to the 360 terabytes of stuff going. Yeah, I mean, at working in tech for a long time, I know what the words mean. I don't know exactly, like, you know what? I should probably. It makes me want to ask ChatGPT, what could be the possible context of the terabytes of the DFS data sets? Like, what could that mean for a blockchain? Could that be? Sorry, now I'm spinning for a second.
I mean,
Genetics
if you get
have
3x
an idea.
petaflop, I've never even heard of anyone transferring a petaflop. But is that 1,000 terabytes?
Yeah, 1,000 terabytes would be a petaflop. Yeah,
I've never even heard of anyone even touching a petaflop besides like random people at Google or yeah.
He's talked a lot about the subgraphs and just data and the data center that he's building or has built, perhaps at this point, I'm not sure. So maybe it's something with a lot of, ZFS data sets. Again, I kind of do want to use AI to help me like brainstorm this a bit to kind of educatively speculate on what he's doing with this. But yeah, he tweeted. He doesn't tweet very often, and not to be outdone, I'll put my little.
I love meme rise. I just bought a 4 terabyte solid state hard drive.
I mean, I'm sitting on like 30 terabytes on my personal work computer, but like I ain't going near no petaflop. So believe me, I am excited to whatever the white whale is up to, because that man, when he moves, he acts and he surgically executes on whatever he does.
He was very much an inspiration for all of Giff Tech and our ideals building going forward. So big shout out to Alex. It's an homage to him in some regards. So we're huge fans of the white whale here on this team. Huge fan.
Well, why it's even outside of him building, and again, I'm excited. Hopefully, we get the Rocket Pool stuff. Hopefully, we get a lot of other projects talked about too. But if we get Hedron V, if this is Hedron V2, who knows what it is? It could not be. But if it were something, just some kind of progress towards that and updates for ICOSA and otherwise, I wonder what iBurn's going to do. I wonder what ICOSA is going to do. I wonder how the Hedron ecosystem is going to respond to things moving on that side. Again, no idea if it's going to happen, but it sounds like there's something that we're going to know about after this thing, after he watches the paint dry, basically, apparently.
No, I'm frothy about it. I'm absolutely frothy about it. I've talked to him a couple times on the phone, and he's one of the most inspirational people next to RH on what do you want to do with ideals, conquer, build, and actually do it. Don't talk about it.
I think I've referred to him as RH. If RH was a dev, it would be in the sphere of Alex, of the type of like vision and stuff that he really wants to do, and he's put forth already too.
100.
All right, founders, it's time for the community to be like, why you like Giff? What's been going on with Giff? Tell me about Giff. What do you guys want to? Crypto Elite, you've been silent for a while. What's been going on, man?
There's for me, there's many things that are exciting. Can you guys hear me well?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So what excites me about Giff, there's many factors. First of all, that the same users can grow the system. You can grow in units. And while all of that happens, you're also growing while the supply is deflating over time. There's a good team as well. I speak to Koolaid quite as much as well. When I got introduced to Giff, I already kind of liked it, but I never really understood it at first. But as more things come upon it, you start to fit the puzzles, and you start to find like little loops that, if you want to act in a good way, you can help the system propel up itself over time, which really interests me because there's no bad signs. Like I've been looking for leaky boats, as Koolaid refers to it. I've been looking for them, and I'm not able to find any leaky boats. So it's really interesting. It's I've got to meet many community members as well, like Boogs and Xmol and Mo. And I got to know these people, and yeah, I really fell in love with the community and the tech itself. So it's amazing.
And the ARB stuff too. That I think that's been, to me, the most interesting thing that's we hadn't talked about before in the deep dives and all that stuff too, was this idea that, I even remember Giff saying like, you guys remind me, he was talking about like, wow, I can't remember the quote, but anyways, around the ability that the ARB of getting the PGIF and GIF difference of 10 PLS, that was like the ARB that people were going for in the early days, a frame like that. And then now one of the other ARBs, or the reverse ARB, I've heard people call it too, is PGIF actually being cheaper than GIF based on what the market's doing at the time, based on which doesn't make a lot of sense in an efficient market, right? Because the PGIF should be worth more, always should be valued more than GIF, because it is GIF plus PLS. So that kind of thing. Those kind of, I don't know, unexpected or just like interesting things that have been going on too. What do you guys? What have you guys been? Have you been taking advantage of that? I saw iBurn was almost the price of ICOSA, I think, earlier, and one iBurn equals ICOSA, whatever PLS that is, plus 1,500 PLS. And I've seen iBurn under 1,500 PLS or around it. It's been like those kind of opportunities. You guys want to talk about that?
I'll say one thing. I'll let the community talk after that. But arbing is a feature. It is not a pillar. There are fundamental differences to understand. Remember, creation, not inflation, no leaky boat, simulation, not speculation, principles, not promises. Those are pillars. Features is something that you can do. And that's a little bit of a different. People are hung up under the one-trick pony thing. Arbing is a core fundamental on what you can do with Gift Tech as a whole, especially as we build out perma assets. But it is not a pillar. You can do it. Doesn't mean necessarily you should do it if you don't want to. You can make this as complex as you want to, or as simple. It's reverse liquid staking. You just want to sit and chill. Anyway, there you go.
Okay, well, I think number one, for people with like the eyes to see when what's going on with the reverse ARB, because people are like, well, PGIF should not be cheaper. But you can never control buys and sells or what's going to happen and like where things are going to flash to. It's an opportunity, like, because PGIF will go back up to its fair value at some point. But I think if people are curious as to why, I have maybe an idea of why this is maybe happening is possibly because Giff is like a fish, proof of pulse, right? In a fishbowl that grew really big really quickly, and now it needs like a larger fishbowl. I don't think anyone saw, probably when this was first created, that Giff would go so high in price so quickly compared to Pulse. So the 10 PLS fee is not super huge as far as a buy and burn, right? It's compared to what the cost of a GIF or PGIF is now. But luckily, with all the extra protocols coming, they will push the buy and burn up, and they will create like a bigger fishbowl for it, and it will get back to where it's supposed to be. And I think it'll get back really easily and maybe be pushed over it. That's what I think about the situation, but I'm not sure if Kinetics or anyone has a different take.
I'm not here, sir. This is all the community. I'd love to see you guys speculate.
Community only mic time, unless Koolaid has a profound point. He can jump in.
This is what we do. We just sit around all day together.
I think you're right on, my friend. So yeah, keep on going. Like, it makes me happy. This actually is probably one of the more exciting streams just to watch you all go.
Okay, well, that's what maybe I think, possibly. The other ones I don't think are going to have the same problem. I think there's going to be a higher, I think fine-tuned is the way you could probably put it, for the like other protocols that are coming out. Their fees will be correlated properly. But I mean, also, like, think of the price of Pulse right now. It's so low. I think Elliot said this to me. He says, like, well, if a GIF does a 10x and holds the ratio with Pulse, and Pulse does a 10x, that's 100x, and that's not even difficult to do. So the buy and burns at that point in time, which probably not very far away from, I think that's near future, that's going to be crazy. And I think you'd be hard pressed to see the perma tokens below the price of their fee plus GIF plus whatever, ICOSA, whatever. I mean, you might get it, but again, opportunity, you know?
Yeah. Well, for me personally, holding Giff is a stronger bet for me against Pulse at the moment, because obviously Pulse has gone down. No one knows if it's bottomed yet or not. But as you just said, Mo, when Pulse does start to go back up again, it's going to take Giff with it. And obviously, if Giff does a 10x, like you said, Pulse does a 10x, the numbers are just amazing, you know? So for me, it's more logical to keep the Giff and try and learn the system while it is down and play around with it and play with the ratios and do some LPing with Elite and figure out how to accumulate for when it does go back up, you know? And at the same time, the way I see it, I sat and watched it. Me and Elite sat up for like, we were on the phone for like 6 hours sometimes, like just talking and watching it, like in disbelief. And I think it just literally blew a gasket. It went so quick, so high, so fast. It just overheated. That's what I think, kind of thing. It kind of overheated. So I think now it's moderately cooled down and it's slowly building back up again. But this time, I think there'll be a lot more precaution involved, and I don't think it will blow a gasket again. I think it's going to blow mine, but I don't think it's going to blow a gasket.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you think, I mean, Elite knows because he's an absolute stalker. He's always paying attention to the holders and everything. But
yeah,
the people that you don't want to sell, they're not selling. They're like, they know what they have and they're accumulating even so at these ranges. So man, it's just, it all looks so good.
And the fact that it's leveled out where it is, it's like when it first started to go down, I thought, oh man. But then it's gone down, it's gone up, and it's balanced. It's kind of staying, considering it went up so high so quick, and then it dropped down. It's kind of where it's staying now. It's amazing to watch it. Me and Lee were talking about yesterday. It's just staying nice, you know. And the amount of holders we had then to compare to what we have now, if we can get on average a 1% supply burn a week, you work that out in 25 to 50 weeks where we're going to be. And then if you work out 5% a week in new members, new holders, that's just moderately slow 5%. Yeah, but once you hit, say, 2,000-3,000 holders, that 5% increases. And, you know, so it's going to be much higher.
Well, I know a lot of people who have bought a lot recently and hold a lot, and they're just waiting for PGIF to go back up, and as soon as they do, they're going to get into Giff, and they're going to run that burn function like over and over and over again. I did it one day. I did it, I think, 9 times in a day. Yeah, Giff is going to be so hard to get soon.
Yeah, I was impatient. I did it for like an hour and a bit with Elite, and it ended up costing me a bit, to be honest with you, because I just didn't want to wait. I just rushed through it, you know, and now I've seen that you can take your time and do smaller bullets. You can turn a nice little growth in your bag if you do it correctly, if you use the system.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, you need to wait for the ratio.
I guess it depends on, you know, your size, right? Because there's going to be some people that are happy to take small losses just to get a large quantity of Giff off the market forever, you know, and burnt away. So, I know I have that. I have like a portion that I just run the burn function with, and I have a portion that I LP with, and there's just so much you can do.
Yeah, I think
cool
burning 1% a week.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think burning 1% a week, that's another interesting angle too. Any percentage per week, I wonder if anyone's did the math on that. The average percentage per week the Giff has been burned so far. How long?
Well, it's more than 1%. I'm just being moderate. I'm just saying a moderate 1%. Yeah. Work it out over 6 months to a year. It's insane, even just moderately. Right. You know.
Yeah, to have those projections to see, you know, of course, you know, it's either got to slow down or the price has to go to the moon, something like that, right? Like that. Those are a couple of the options at least. But I think seeing how that plays out, the burning effect, and how much is on the market, because we've seen. I don't know if you guys have been watching the liquidity and otherwise. It looks like the supply has been shifting. It looks like there'll be more Giff put on the market. There'll be more PGIF on the market, more iBurn. There's been some different changes in liquidity I've been noticing in the last little bit too. And the burning and the minting, of course, again, it's kind of like, but maybe there's some benevolent actions. Again, if PGIF is lower than Giff, it's kind of like, you know, there's that ARB opportunity, but also not as much incentive to mint. But I don't know. A lot of this is up to the community. A lot of it's up to the people, you know, who you know, either benevolent whales or people who just want to keep it like doing healthy actions to the ecosystem. I think, I don't know. Have you guys seen?
Well, what's cool about what Koolaid said when he says, "Oh, you're all a founder," I think it's because, you know, in most projects, a benevolent action, I mean, usually comes from like a VC or a founder or like a core team. But like I said, I know people that are not core team, not founders, that are running benevolent functions, like taking small losses to benefit the system. And that's like what's so cool about it, you know. That's the founder kind of part.
It is, yeah. It does feel like it's one of those, again, you do the work. If you want this thing to succeed, you know, benevolent actions are at your fingertips, you know, promotion at your fingertips, that sort of thing too. It's pretty cool. I definitely like that. And there's so many different things to like about this ecosystem, the Giff or sub ecosystem, I guess, on PulseChain. The principles are one, the community is another, the tech and the price performance. I think that's what's so unique, again, historically speaking, at least so far. But I got a couple of questions here I want to throw up here. So David Luder, will be interesting to see the mass play out via the market at various measurable points. For example, when half the supply of Giff has been converted to buy and burn, keep up, outpace. Also, what if all Giff, the second part here. What if all Giff, okay, I'm not sure if that was a correction or not. But yeah, what do you guys think about, we were talking about the supply, the burning, supply shock. What do y'all think about that?
Does he mean when all Giff is burnt, like out?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the goal, right? To get it all kind of burnt out, and then it's just P-Giff sitting there, absorbing buy and burns from however many communities want to be built on.
And what's it been? 6 weeks?
Right.
6 weeks for P-Giff? 6 weeks for P-Giff?
Like 24% already gone forever. So yeah, get in now if you can.
Yeah, I mean, what do you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. I mean, this for me, this ecosystem is I have the same standpoint like Crypto Elite, and it's interesting on so many levels, because we also see the battle testing of the code live, and we can turn pretty much any token to a deflationary token. So
Yeah.
I'm extremely excited on learning, because I started to study Solidity a couple of months back, and now I'm playing with scripts. So to build on this and use these different tools within our community and see the community grow, I mean, it's deflation on top of deflation on top. It's just insane. So I'm really excited to see the building and to be a builder myself. So it's very exciting stuff. And I mean, the price charge is gonna go insane. So
yeah, I agree.
Can you folks hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I switched to my computer. I wanted to cut in a little bit regarding the low price of P-Giff. I think if there's a few benevolent actors in the system that understand the system, they're going to become way bigger over time, and these folks will be able to keep on propelling the system up over time. You just need a few good actors to help the system. As the supply deflates, these guys can keep them growing bigger, and that's how you can help the system as well. So you could make it like a couple of guys that just become larger and larger over time as everyone sells out or just burns the supply. You have a few guys that can just help with keeping P-Giff higher up. It's quite
pretty much like a security guard.
Yep.
There's another comment here from Moondog. So that was the intention of what if all Giff was burned. Hearing the team explicitly to go next steps. Just in general, what if all the Giff was burned? Have you guys thought about that scenario? Like if it all gets burned, it's all just into P-Giff, and you can't mint any more P-Giff, and there's no Giff left. What are any scenarios?
It's just a race. It's like now it's one side is gone, and the P-Giff is now dwindling down as well from the buy and burns. So like get it
Peak
while
it
it's
would be
hot.
very
I
valuable.
guess.
Hunger Games.
I think you can never burn 100% of the supply. I think in this case it is possible, because if all the supply is in user hands, it is possible. But normally, like a normal asset, I don't think you can burn everything away, as it will be just in small fractions.
Koolaid looked like he had a point on that too.
Well, not just a point, but it's just like so great to hear, because if you look at the game Civilization, which is like chess on such a more complex level, if you own all the oil, everyone else is stuck in the Bronze Age. You don't get guns, cars, spaceships, robots, lasers, nuclear bombs. Also, always watch out for Gandhi. He will nuke you first. But understanding the difference between those two is fundamentally interesting. And as they were just saying, you can't ratio that to zero. Who thinks about Bitcoin and Satoshis anymore? You don't. However, I was ignorant back in the olden days when I was like, I don't have $1,000 to buy a Bitcoin back in 2012. Didn't realize it was a fractionalized asset. You can go fractionalized with the asset and push it to those levels, especially with the principles that we're trying to build here with DeFi for all, community first, protocol first, and teaching people why, not what to buy. That's very different. And it's as core for all of us that, have our nightly meetings. We believe in that so much. And that's why all the community members are so dope. They're just saying the exact same things we've been talking about. Like, because we all believe in it, and you guys understand it and believe it, and each one teaches one, and the world burns bright.
Hoorah. Hoorah.
Hooray.
Hoorah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing. Each one teaches one. So true, Koolaid. Because like this is the limitless experiment. There's no limit on it. It's like just a matter of how far. It's like evangelizing. You have to go out, sell the product, educate, and I mean, if everybody agreed and knew and ran the functions properly, like there's nothing that this couldn't work with. So it's cool.
Another one from Moondog to compound hypotheticals. There's also an inevitability, ever-growing scaffolding of additional gears and flywheels within flywheels over time. Can somebody explain that to the flywheels within flywheels? What does that mean?
That's one for Koolaid. He knows that best.
Cells within cells within cells interlinked. If you look at everything on how it's binded to a balancing loop and a reinforcing loop, you can call a balancing loop arbitrage. You can call a reinforcing loop pumpamentals. But it is how everything actually works within perpetuity. There's the Mike Sellers video that I hammer down everyone to watch. Please watch the silly game dev videos. It's going to teach you so much more than you understand. If all the foxes eat all the rabbits, they don't just eat all the rabbits, they eat the generation of rabbits that'll be made. And so it cascades on what they can do. That's why an invasive species is so detrimental. But technically, an invasive species, as what we're creating, is monumental because it pushes the entire ecosystem and everyone else up together as a whole, since everyone is a founder if they use the tools correctly. So again, to quote Blade Runner, cells within cells within cells interlinked. But please watch the silly game dev videos.
I think you've linked them in the chat as well on the Telegram.
Everywhere. Yeah. I hammer that damn thing. And it's because, what's interesting? It's like my personal onboards are never allowed to listen to me. I will talk to them on the phone and deal with them because they're my onboards. But they're not allowed to listen to me on stream. They're supposed to listen to other people talk that is not their daddy of help. And when you take the perspective out of Moonboy crypto nonsense and all the rest of that, and you wrap it around the same idioms and ideals that has nothing to do with crypto or nothing to do with what you're trying to learn and understand, and then bring them back, you're going to have so much more of a rich palette on how you're understanding these experiences. And that's why you should always cross-section or sanity check with your knowledge with something that is paired with an equal knowledge. And that's why I've always said knowledge is the most expensive token in the world. Experience is how you get there.
Every time somebody says the word knowledge, I just think of Ty Lopez. Knowledge.
Yeah, knowledge. With the Lambo and a bookshelf.
It's like I need the Koolaid meme of like knowledge. He's gonna put Kool-Aid's face on Ty Lopez.
Knowledge on aisle 3. Knowledge on aisle 3. We need to check out some knowledge on aisle 3.
Too expensive, sir. Too expensive.
When Ty Lopez joins the Telegram, then we'll know we've made it.
I wanted to cut in.
Go for it.
I think it's gonna take time for people to start understanding the system, but the more people start understanding it and joining in, it's kind of like how Koolaid calls it. He calls it a game, and once you start understanding the loops, it kind of addicts you to it, and you want to learn more, and you keep on learning new things that you didn't know before. You just keep on diving deeper and deeper and deeper, and keeps on getting more interesting. It's really fascinating. I've been looking at the LP stuff to gain more units, and I thought I was looking at it for like 5 days, and then I checked the chart once I called with Books. After a while,
12 days.
and yeah, it was actually 12 days. So the time has been flying by. I've been looking too much into it actually. So it's very fascinating. The more you're busy with it, the more you'll learn, and it keeps on stacking knowledge. It's very interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing about the loops that like Koolaid always talks about is, I mean, I've been thinking about this, and I keep saying this, is there's a lot of people with a lot of coins, you know, from the sacrifice days, from 3 years ago, 5 years ago, like they need something to do with it, and nothing keeps you more engaged in the system when there's constant arbitrage and burning and functions to run and things to learn about. Yeah, like that was the thing with ICOSA in the beginning. It was just so interesting that it kept people engaged. It kept people stuck in the system because there's so much to do with what you hold. You know, if you're sitting on a huge bag of PulseX or Hex or Ink or Pulse, like there's going to be things to do with, you can do with that. And ICOSA at the moment, you know, there's things you can do. There's more you can do when other people aren't looking, even than you'll be able to do in the future. So.
Yep, correct. And the best part of it, there is no inflation. So yeah, it's perfect, really perfect. I love the system. I've never been more engaged into one protocol ever before. I kind of dropped everything else just for Giff alone. It's fascinating.
I came up with the moniker a long time ago. If you get paid to be entertained, you get pure market fit, not product market fit. And if you use the tools correctly, interact with our fantastic bloody community. I mean, then the messages are too crazy. I can't even look at them these days. So thank you all. Everyone here is, you know, a slayer in the channels that helps me and Kinetics and Giff and all the rest of us that we can not be overloaded. And to be fair, you speak everything that's correct because you've been trained to use the tools as a founder to learn, engage, and more importantly, help your better man, help everyone come up together. No toxicity in our boat. And that is what is core to looking at how this cascades. And I hate the term game theory, but I came up with the term accordion game theory a long time ago. And that's when you take systemic design. System design is one system. Systemic design is multiple gears rolling on top of each other. Accordion game theory is when you smash a shit ton of them together. And you don't really know how it's going to happen or what's going to work with that till you see each gear roll and each permutation take its course. You really have no idea. That's why we do things in baby steps. And we do it transparently. So other people, like everyone on this panel, can sit, look, learn, and talk accordingly to what is happening in real time. Simulation, not speculation. And I think it's bringing, in my point of view, a breath of fresh air to this entire ecosystem that we have.
Yeah, I agree. I came in at 300 members to the there's 300 holders when I came in, and I've watched everyone interact and bounce ideas and motivate each other and talk about certain things, and I watched it go from 300 to 800, and then I watched it go up to where it is now. And people are still coming on new, onboarding, asking questions, and you still see people putting them to the right directions and giving them advice. And it's just really good to see it. And it's what we're at 1,338 or whatever it is at the moment, and it's slowly going to increase and increase. And at the rate it's increasing now, it's enough time in there for the people that are still learning, like myself, to get advice and help and be directed in the right direction, pointed in the right direction to be able to experiment and practice and work on like arbing or work on the LPs and then work on whatever else is going to be coming in the future. You know, it's not just all being thrown at us at once. It's slowly being delivered.
Would you say this is the accumulation of knowledge phase?
I would think so.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
We've got
Telegram.
we've got 61% more holders than we did at the top before people that got in early started dumping out. And by the way, for all of you guys out there, none of that was part of the team. So
yeah, I saw it at 800.
Distribution. That's funny about the Telegram. Like, I didn't even know how to find the Telegram for the first.
we did that on
3
purpose.
months. Yeah, but that's what I was gonna say. Like, talk about a fair launch. Like, it truly is, and maybe that's why the price has done so well. Like, this is like anybody could have gotten in. There was no hand holding. They wouldn't even direct me to the Telegram. I was like, what's this gift
like
coin?
one of my little brothers in life, right? And he got there, and I'm like, look who did their homework. Good little moly mole. Did you get out of your mole hole smoking weed with the groundhog?
All right, relax. I was pissed off. I was like, well, you didn't tell me about the Telegram.
Well,
I just hope more people see. I hope more people see. And you know, I don't want to get people excited and get them come to Giff, but people that are in Pulse and that are in Hex and that have been in it a lot longer than I have, and they've been waiting patiently, and some of them are now impatient. I mean, I had to come off of through the Telegram channels. I'm not going to go into which ones, but I had to come off of them. The negativity and some of the stuff that's going on in them, I just couldn't deal with it anymore. I had to just get off it myself, you know, because it's just so much FUD, so much, this isn't working, it's just so many conversations going the wrong way. And we're in the almost the bull run, and we're at a stage now where it's part of the game. It's going to happen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that the people that are already in Pulse and have already got high expectations and are going to be waiting for delayed gratification, for them not to have even some gift, it just doesn't make sense to me, honestly. I'm just happy that I got in it. Even if I'd have got in it right now where it is, I'd be happy. I'm happy wherever it is, because it's still so new and it's got so far to go. And I think we've already got one engine so far, or one gear, whatever you want to call it, a gear at the moment. And there's so many more potential things coming onto it.
Yeah.
I can just see it in my head. I can envision it. I can fast forward 6 months, 9 months. I can just see it. Like, it's not even a question. I can see it. So for me, I'm just happy that I'm involved, and I've been enjoying the up, and I've enjoyed the down just as much as the up, because I've learned more on the down than I did on the up. If that makes sense.
Because I like that you talked about the gear too, because it's like, yeah, was iBurn first gear, like metaphorically and literally, like that kind of, like, it makes sense in a lot of ways, and it fits the gearhead theme as well. But I like that.
One hell of a gear.
Yeah.
Well, just wait till you see the other gears or flywheels added onto this thing. So,
you calm down, sir. You calm down before you tell us something good. Okay.
I know. I will say there is more coming, and I'll tell you what, Gift Tech is ever evolving. We've got some really cool new tech that we can't wait to reveal. That will help all of this going forward, and it'll make a lot of different people happy. I'm not going to get into too many details because I could easily kind of give too much away by saying very little. So I will back off at this point.
Free beer tomorrow. Free beer from Kinetics tomorrow. 2 more weeks.
Free Gift knowledge tomorrow.
Kinetic, blink
tomorrow.
Kinetic, blink 3 times when I stop at the right one. Blink 3 times.
You should just probably leave that page at this moment.
Dude, they're all the right one at some point.
One thing I'm excited about. So
all of them.
I actually
why just one? It's like what chip was that? Once you pop Pringles, once you pop, you can't stop. I mean,
once
just
you can't stop. So. No point being selective.
I'll tell you what though, it's funny because we have a whole new ecosystem over here with PulseChain. And it's funny to see a lot of the old guys from Hex be like, this chain was only created for Hex. Well, this chain will never survive with just Hex. It has to have all the DeFi tools. I don't think it was Richard's intent to only have one DeFi product on this. If that were the case, he would have done. He would have just stopped at maybe PulseX, and he wouldn't added some of the other things that he's got going on. But for this chain to thrive, it's got to have. Let's use it flywheels as an example to make the whole system work as a full machine. And it's funny when you get comments in here like, "Oh, the guys I once held as idols are now rivals." Not at all. No, this is very complimentary because you haven't even seen what we've done to help the RH coins yet. I mean, iBurn was just a taste of what you guys are getting. So we helped kick back in thanks to the ICOSA auctions. We helped kick back the price of the arbitrage between the ICOSA and EHEX and made EHEX staking profitable again to do so and to actually end up with more HEX once you sold it back and got the ICOSA and sold it back for HEX again. Wait till you see this more directly applied to these tokens. But I think there needs to be a build up to that point. I think we need to show you guys through all the other things that we're building that this is why these things are important, and they aren't competitive with the RH coins. In fact, they're going to complement them long term.
100. And if you try to muddy the water by doing everything too fast, not only do you have a good back test, you don't know where the boat is creaking, not leaking. So you need to make sure that you handle all these. I mean, all of us are Richard Hart idealists. I hate the term tribalism and maximalism because it's not the correct term. It gets toxic when you go down that particular rabbit hole. Richard even said, change your worldview. Well, what we need to do is be the positive reinforcement for that. Believe me, I want to do all sorts of fun stuff to help all of us as a whole. Why did Richard write Scivive long before he made Hex or any of his other ideals that he was talking about? He wants all of us to be better humans together. And instead of fighting, we need to shield up failings, shield despair. And we do that. If you want to build the future, you need to work for it. You need to create it. You need to be passionate about it. And we all can do that together, regardless of where you are on this weird DeFi for all system. As long as you're learning and you're trying, you're still on team win. What you need to do is not try to go stab your neighbor, right? That's why in the Spartan phalanx, it is 100%. Shield to spear. You take care of the man to your left.
Yep. It's everyone in PulseChain against every other chain to some degree. And if you can fix the leaky boats in all the systems on PulseChain and rise the tide for all of them together, it's a win-win for everyone. It's principles over promises. We've talked about this for a long time now. That's why there was no sack phase. That's why there was no founder allocation. That's why we didn't do any of those things with Gift Tech. We wanted it to be fair launch. Everything that we're building on is already existing communities for now, and we'll show you guys more as time goes on. But if this was any other kind of project, and with the kind of hype that we had, with the volume that came through, like if that was our intention, the founders could have walked away with a lot of money already and gone our separate ways instead of continue building. So we're here for the long term.
And there's even more than that. What happens when we tie multiple chains and multiple communities together with the proper messaging? And that's core fundamental from all of us at Core is the proper messaging from all of the mods, proper messaging, all the people that are helping in the chat, proper messaging. The more that we combine and fold all this stuff together into a beautiful accordion game theory sandwich, now we're spinning multiple flywheels, multiple gears, multiple communities, multiple joy of knowledge. It's very, very different than the meme of the day or the promise of the week. And that's something that we're constantly working for.
+1 for not being toxic. Like no matter what your thing is, no matter where you fall on the spectrum or otherwise, maxi idealist or otherwise, like whatever your thing is, you don't have to take away from others to promote and do what you like to do and believe in and stuff. Like you can totally, do it in a non-toxic way. So I think that's very underrated, and that's what I try to represent too. I'm somewhere in the maxi idealist, somewhere in that realm too. But yeah, anyways, you don't have to be toxic. Like it's I don't know, it comes natural to me to just be it's not even productive. So don't have to do that. Anyways, for community members only, what do you guys think? All three of you, four of you, all four of you on here, what do you want to see? What's next? No founders allowed to answer, only community members. What are you most excited about if it happens?
10 billion X first of all.
I mean, like this poll.
You moon
Yes,
boy.
we want the 10 million X2, but like on this poll, which one do you want to see next as far as deployment for Permabull?
Well, I said billion X, but I think all of them, obviously. But like Koolaid said, it's about a multiple proofs of concept. So you can point back and see the wins. Progressive overload, right? What you would call it, because it's like throwing someone in at the deep end. If we go straight to the big stuff, like I don't think that would work, because not enough people would understand it or know how to run the functions. There would be, too much of the native coins just sitting there not doing anything. Maybe someone could pump those coins up without, understanding that there's an equal side to that with the Giff tech. So I think community outreach to the people who want it, who understand it, and people who are like builders themselves, who have cool things going on, and I guess people who need it, right? Like if you see Zen's on there, like God, I can't think of anyone that needs it more than Zen. But everything, it's all good.
Giff University, 5-day course. That's what we need.
Right.
Well, I got
5-day
3 deep
course.
dives so far. I got 3 deep dives. Never know if we might get 2 more in for Giff University. I like that.
I'm not sure. Who are the
Well,
builders?
for
You've
me,
got like Atropa, right? You've got PTGC. Those guys seem quite cool. There's people that, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be my choice to put Giff Tech on, but they come and raid the Telegram and they seem dead serious and dead set and that they want it, and it's like, well, that's good actually. That's great. And how can you deny them? I should say quickly, there has been people that have tried to, or not tried, but they've kind of made terrible forks of the protocol, and they are scams. And if you send your money to this burn address, it doesn't get burnt, it just goes to a wallet. It's someone's wallet. So be very careful about that, I'd say. Yeah.
That's the core thing about, until the Giff has announced anything, even in its management, we do not sanction any talking about things till the mighty Sandlord goes forward, because we may be his mouthpiece, but it's his tech, and if he hasn't completely gone forward and said it, it's not real. And there is no need to front run anything. It's creation, not inflation. You're not late. Understand the tools. So
well, there's some nuance there though too, because if you wanted to buy the coins that were going to be built next, you want to know which coins they were, right?
I mean, yes, there's always that particular chess game, just like the white chess piece technically moves first. So the black side is always inhibited to the white's move. But understanding the tools is actually more powerful than worrying about front running something. I mean, if you're paying attention to community engagement, you could probably see where we're interested in talking to people, because it really is about community engagement and them understanding and utilizing the variables that we're putting in front of them, right? So if it's a good community, you probably would want that token anyways, if I had to, spitball back. But I do agree, there's always that variable on trying to be first in line. But there really is no need for a pre-pass if you're a truck driving, a fast pass if you're at Disneyland. All of us technically move in phalanx together. And if there's a great community, hopefully they have a great token. And hopefully through that circular engagement, everyone and all of us can work together. But we do move in small component chunks for that exact reason. There's no need for us to rush or for other people to rush. We will get to things as we see fit. And the beauty of that is each time we do something, we innovate on the next strike, because we're not sitting here just copying pasta stuff. Each time there is a new simulation that we are solving, each iteration and permutation that the Giff writes as code, that we as core talk about new ideals that we want to bring forward, and as community members come in to talk about how they want to have this deployed on their substrate. So it's all a constant growing process across the board, and it's a growing process for good.
There is a way you can front run all of these. By the way, if you want to front run all of these, just
Buy
buy
Giff.
Giff.
Just buy Giff. 100%
Buy Giff
correct.
now.
I was
Yep.
about to say that.
Yeah, that's the simple solution for everybody. So that because I mean, yeah, sure, we probably could have made a bunch of money just doing like a paid group telling everyone what we're going to do next, but we have no interest in that. That's not what we're here for. We're here for rising the tide for all boats on this pulse chain.
And it's kind of crazy about that. Like when you have a paid group, people pay for the knowledge. That means it costs knowledge to go there. It's the same reason why paying $200 a month for CrossFit is advantageous, because if you go every day, it's actually decently cheap. But if you don't go at all, it's very, very expensive. You can go to Planet Fitness and pay for a $25 membership and still not go. The question is, what's that economic value worth to your time and wallet and energy? And that's why we have all that for free with our community members, that you get to come hang out with us and have some bloody fun, be positive for once, instead of hanging out on crypto Twitter, which is toxic as hell. Necessary evil.
I'm literally like, I was never hardly active on Telegram at all until the gift chat room. I literally, you guys like get like 90% of my messages on Telegram these days. I didn't even want to get on it that much. That's how positive and like interesting it becomes from time to time.
Well, I mean, you are the clip master general that I send everyone to now, because, and again, tip of the hat to you, sir. Like, I don't have all the mental hamsters to be dealing with all the rest of it. So tip of the hat to you. And that's
it's
why
not a right. It's a privilege.
That's exactly right. tinyburrow.com/learn Permabulls. That's where I send everyone. And they're not allowed to talk to me until you go through. This is going to be what, the 49th video. And people will call me on the phone. And I'm like, please.
You gotta step that up. 55 videos.
Is it 55 now?
But there's five. There's 5 coming out, 5 unavailable.
Oh,
so technically 50. We've hit 50 though. There you go.
I
think this is the 50th one. This is congrats. This is number 50. This video right here.
I mean, I'm gonna tip the hat to Maximus, our Lord of Marketing. He could not download your video from the last one, and he needed to go do some clippings himself. So I had to use my ninja internet ways to make sure that I got him the video so he could do some clippings. But tip of the hat to you, sir. Like you slay the side that we're trying to build everything on.
I try. Thank you. I want to circle back to Boogs though. He was about to give an answer for which one he'd like to be deployed. I think, right?
I don't know who'll agree with me or not, but to be honest with you, mine is ink. And I know it's controversial. Some people say, oh, it's got a low market cap. But for me, I think ink has got so much potential. You know, it's the underdog at the moment. I think in Pulse, in the Richard Hart's coins, in EHEX, PHEX, Pulse, PulseX, ink. Ink is, I think, like some secret sauce in there somewhere. I don't know what's got planned for it, but I think it can do really well. I think it can, and I think ink would be really good if it had gift tech with it.
I think plenty of people are interested in ink on that for sure. Yeah, I think. Okay, I'll just give you mine real quick though too. I think ink is definitely in the conversation, but there's something about PulseX having a double buy and burn. I just that market.
Oh yeah, you got that too. Yeah,
I think, and there's so many people with PulseX. I just think that would just be such a thing to really engage the community, really get people into PulseX who would be maybe interested in participating in the protocol. So for me,
put a thought bubble in there, because it's not about having a double buy and burn with Permabull tech, which is
I'm not talking about the Permabull side. I'm saying like PulseX already has a buy and burn with the volume with the transaction stuff. This would be in another buy and burn for that context, a double buy and burn.
But it's the economic energy you put into it to really cascade the buy and burn. And that's really the difference, right? Because remember, PulseX is the OG daddy of the idea of buy and burn, but that's on a minuscule percentage of volume based on long-term bonding curves, right?
I take it back. I only want to say PulseX has 2 buy and burns. That's accurate. It has 2 buy and burns. It would have 2 buy and burns. That's what I want to tell people, because that's this key marketing point. But yes, no, you're right though.
No, but that's where it gets interesting. It's the cascading seesaws of economic energy and its own native buying burning being. It's also its native DEX. It gets really, really interesting based on what happens with other dexes, situations, coins, and all the rest of that when it compounds all on top of each other into that spatial web. But yes, double buy and burn is fine, Max. You can have that one.
Well, there's so many different. There's two contexts for double buy and burn. Now we have to talk about those every once in a while. Awesome, Koolaid.
I always make things complex. You never get a simple answer out of me.
I want to know all the angles though. I appreciate it, and I think just ink. I think points for ink would be nope. To my knowledge, nobody's built on ink in the community. No, there's no popular product, at least as far as I know, that have built on ink, especially burning it. And I think that would be a tremendous, again, let's just being like PulseChain people. Do you like this, sort of thing?
I would say actually ink as well, because it's the incentive token, and it could bring a lot of economic energy from other chains because it's very noob friendly.
Yeah, pushing up the front.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't know what's building. Maybe some people do, but I've heard rumors around the single-sided staking, and that could explode this ecosystem with a lot of economic energy from the outside. And it will be more trading, and PulseX will be burned as well. So ink, I mean, Hex is hard to onboard on, but staking is extremely easy for new people. So I would say ink, or just burn Pulse. That's the end game, maybe, to raise the tide of everything.
I think the other thing I wanted to ask too is, so we're going from community back to founders. So the one thing I've heard that, or I see from time to time, people are like, that don't want to participate in this, is they say, okay, I don't want to give up my Pulse or whatever other token. Maybe they're like, I don't want to give up my ICOSA. Or if it was built on PulseX, this is what reminded me of. I was imagining if we had Permabull on PulseX, it would be like, well, I don't want to give up my PulseX. Are people missing something? Like how is there any other, like, what do you say to that? I guess, what do you say to, like, I don't want to give up my core coin in order to participate?
Well,
Kinetics, Koolaid, what do you guys think?
We haven't had a long history yet. So there's not a lot of data. So to the credit to the people that say that, I totally understand that. And, this Giff and Giff tech isn't something that everyone's educating themselves on how the system works correctly anyway. A lot of people with the chart showing that they're not using the system correctly yet anyway. So that we're not getting the compounded positive effects from it. But if you're worried about, hey, I don't want to give up my core coin, I get that. But while your core coin has dropped 50% in the last couple of weeks, ours has gone up 10,000x versus your core coin. So if you want to find an asset that has some kind of tokenomic and a strong community to it that is going to reserve the value in Pulse and actually gain your value in Pulse long term, maybe you should look for those type of tokens to increase, because the whole game of crypto, a lot of people, the guys that have been here forever understand this. Are you gaining more than your native token is? If the tokens and chain and the projects you're in are going up at a rate faster than the native token, then you're winning in that native token. So you guys need to keep that in mind. That's why the really good traders and the people that understand these systems that have been around for a while, they don't measure anything in US dollar value. They measure it versus the other tokens that they're trying to gain in. Are you trying to gain over Bitcoin's gains? Are you trying to gain over Ethereum's gains? And in this case, are you trying to gain over PulseChain gains? So that's something you guys need to think about. Maybe change your paradigm on what you're doing in the way of, how am I accumulating more of that token, of that native chain token long term?
Well, the historical price performance is one thing, but is it just, not believing a project's legit or not proven enough, or there is something about giving away, like, putting PulseX into something, putting Pulse into something, putting Hex into something, where I am kind of like, I better be sure this is like, it almost feels like I'm giving, you're giving away your baby type of thing. Like, is it just that? I don't know.
Well, there's a reason why we didn't strike with anything like that, but let's rope it back to a simpler example. Well, it's going to be a metaphor because I'm Lord of the Metaphors. If you
keep it
are
short,
playing-
Koolaid. Keep it short. We got someone in the chat. It's not like in the analogies right now. So
all right. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're playing checkers, you're playing with the same piece. If you're playing chess, you have multiple support pieces that do different roles, regardless if it's your favorite checker or not. And so, like, I think people, when they're considering this, they're thinking very one-sided, just like a checker moves in one direction.
Not only that, I
That
think
was
another thing is
short.
people have held Pulse for so long, holding on to it for dear life for so long, you know. And subconsciously for me, even when I did it, at first I was a bit reluctant to let go of my Pulse. But then when you look at, like Connect said, with the bigger picture, you're not letting go of anything. You're growing something. You're increasing on the other side. That's the whole point of it. And if everyone did it together, it would go up and it would have increased value. And that's the whole point of it, to me, anyway. You know, it's not like I'm not throwing my Pulse in the garbage can and it's going away forever. You know, I'm doing it for a purpose.
Also, like, people are like afraid to give away their ICOSA for iBurn. It's kind of like, are you scared to give up your Giff for PGIF, or are you scared to trade your PGIF back into Giff when Giff is at premium? There's no real loss there. It's
yeah.
Yeah, you never
that
lose.
was
Well,
I know it's
especially
kind of
once people start to understand the arbitraging and how there's
Yeah.
people on chain verifiably that have increased their pulse bags because of the arbitrage between the GIF and PGIF tokens. And that's what a lot of people, the people who aren't educated on how GIF and PGIF works, I hear that and I'm like, okay, so you just told me you don't understand how this thing works. So I totally get it. From first glance, maybe I would think the same way that you do. But as you learn more, it'll change your view. And we, like I said, verifiably on chain, there are people that have increased their pulse bags pretty significantly thanks to GIF and PGIF, understanding how the system is supposed to be utilized correctly.
Yeah. And I mean, GIF is the proof of concept, right? People sacrificed their GIF for PGIF way back when. And then they sold their PGIF for GIF, and they've been doing that all the way up till now. I don't think there's any loss or there's anything to be concerned about. But either side, that there is a loss or a gain, that's just more opportunity to increase the size of the bag that you started with for you and everyone else that does it.
In any way you want to do it too. Right? So anyone has multiple different, let's say, needs in life. And so if you have GIF and you need to take some profit for paying rent or whatever, mint GIF, you helped the system. We salute you, sir. And you can take that profit. Now, there's other ways that you can roll that play into more protocol first based mentalities to massage that, but you don't have to. Just like you can just ride GIF. If you want to keep it as simple as a 5-year-old, hold your GIF when you want to get out, mint your PGIF, get out. That's totally fair to use the system as simply as you want. There's more games you can play, chess to checkers to backgammon, but you don't have to, right? It's not arbitrage as a feature. It is not a pillar.
Well, and also, let's say that you don't want to do it. Just the fact that it exists, just the fact that iBurn exists. If you want to hold on to your ICOSA, if you just hold it, you are increasing your bag size relative to the maximum supply of ICOSA. You sit there, other people run the function, ICOSA gets burned, it changes hands, and you sit there. One day you're a turtle, then you're a squid, then you're a dolphin. Who wouldn't want that, right? So
yeah, I'm purposely a little bit quiet on ICOSA and iBurn because things will become very clear to people in the near future. Well, I shouldn't say near future because we have absolutely no idea the timeline that Alex is working on. But there's going to be a lot of people that were asleep at the wheel when V2 redemption period comes and goes. And don't worry, we got your backs, guys. We got your backs.
And again, it's a we, not a me mentality too.
And that's exactly it. It's
Like,
not
again,
versus.
everything-
We're not versus him by any means. We're trying to complement his system.
Well, I mean, remember, he built the more complex version of a T-share by wrapping it, creating an auction house, creating multiple levers and pulleys that could be used within that same ecosystem built on immutable code. But it is more or less a we, not a me mentality with everything that we do. And that's the big paramount, I think, that people just need to take away in all of this. It's not a us versus RH. It's not us versus the white whale. It's not us versus anything. In fact, we want to take care of everyone, cross-chain, multiple communities, bring everyone in together with the same inspiration we had 4 years ago in the very first Hex chats. You know, when I was teaching the captain how to use a webcam back in the day when stuff was overheating, all of us came from that old era where everyone wants to help and build and create and be a positive reinforcement loop.
Win billions and buy and burn, devs. Win billions. Win mint so hard.
I just wanted to add in for the people that are trying to learn Giff and PGIF. I think they should look at the PGIF and Giff ratio. Once the PGIF ratio gets back above 1, that's basically when the whole system starts spinning again, and the Giff burning is going to go way faster. That's the pair I've been watching like weeks for now.
Yeah.
And I'm trying sometimes to push it up a little bit and then set my ranges to protect the one side, to push it back up a little bit. And over time, as I stated, the people that just keep on accumulating more and more coins, they're going to become so powerful that these guys alone can push with the PGIF ratio again and just keep the wheel on going when bad actors dump down the price. And yeah, it's interesting. You need to switch it to Giff.
Price that one in Giff. Price that one in Giff.
Gotcha.
That way you can see that ratio. So yeah, we're close to 1-to-1. But the thing that we said on the stream last time with you, Max, with me and Giff on, were at this point in time, you have to really look at, first of all, PGIF, because it has a protocol fee of 10 pulse higher than the price of Giff itself. Intrinsically, PGIF should be more expensive. People aren't recognizing that right now. Everyone's just going into Giff. It's the easy buy. I understand that. They don't understand the mint. They don't understand the arbitrage. But it doesn't really matter which one you buy, except for the fact that you got to look at which one's going to get you more units. They're essentially the same coin, because you can turn Giff into PGIF anytime you want. So the best buy for you is the one that gets you the most units. Can you get for the same amount of pulse or the same amount of DAI or whatever it is, whatever token you're trading into Giff or PGIF with, which one's going to give you more, Giff or PGIF at the moment? You guys really should be looking at that.
But there's only one that you can use to mint, and that is Giff. And it'll be interesting to see, like where the ratios go with them, and also, when the minting go back again. We like minting, feel buy and burn, minting burn Giff. We like the mints. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. The PGIF ratio is basically where you can see when it's gonna start creeping up slowly again.
Yep.
That's what you need to watch, basically. Once that starts flipping, the Giff burning will start. It can be many things. The price could, because people bought in at the top in PGIF, and these were how do you call them, cheats? That's how they call them. They sold the PGIF down, and now the system needs to recalibrate itself, and either the sellers get out or the price goes so low versus the amount they bought in that the buy and burn just can buy them out way cheaper, and then the ratio flips. And the people that stayed in the coin, they started learning and educating themselves, and they now know they don't need to max dump one pair and just keep on relooping the whole system, and they learn. And that's how it goes up, and you go up in a new wave. You might drop again and set floors over time and just keep on growing up over time. It's a learning curve for people.
I mean, here's a really easy, silly little cheat if you have to have one. If you bought PGIF cheaper than Giff, and then from there you swap that back to Giff and then minted back up, you remove Giff off the menu, and now your PGIF is even stronger because
you got more of a buy and burn
direction.
Yep.
But it doesn't even need the permeable buy and burn. You're removing the supply permanently, then anyone will ever get that. But
they'll never be able to get that Giff again. So the thing that's so funny about this ARB opportunity is people who hold it and understand the system can actually drag one coin up versus the other and continually drag and parity these tokens and actually stack and accumulate on top of that. That's the funny part of this that people aren't getting, is that if everyone did the right thing in the system, this thing would probably, well, I don't know what it would do price performance. Market can be irrational, but it is designed and it works if it's used correctly, like we saw at the beginning, that they continually drag each other up. So you would have more economic value using the system correctly versus the guys that got in early and were able to cheat at the top.
Or just trading. Like when you're trading back and forth, you're not using the tools. And again, arbing is a feature, trading is something people do. But if you use the tools correctly, you are a founder. You are not a holder. And if you use them correctly, the system will reward you by putting the protocol first. It's in our pillars.
Yep. Yeah. Right now, it's not a bad deal to buy PGIF. As SMO Spider saying, my last buy was buying PGIF. You get more coins. Not only do you get more coins, but if you can bring it over that 10 pulse threshold, then you really kick that system back in, and the arbing comes in, and they start dragging each other back up again. That is the interesting part of trading on in the Giff ecosystem too. Is when stuff like this happens, it's kind of like on the market to figure it out or not for a while, and people accumulate, and you got the LP part of it, you got the mint. There's so many different interesting pieces to this, guys. Wow. Yep. But people are starting to figure it out.
People are hesitant, but you can push the PGIF ratio up with your Giff.
Yeah, you
and
can.
that will benefit you. And the reason I know that is Elliot was forcing me to make buys of PGIF with my Giff because he was nervous to do it.
And you were getting more units.
You as well, Hubbooks.
We were trying to push up when you go in the 9mm LP, you need to push up the range. You can't just decide to the range. You need to push it in a certain block, I'll just call it. And then you can set the range to basically get more PGIF or GIF in case it drops down or goes up. So you keep on stacking units. You keep on stacking more and more units. So you're basically growing in the system over time, and you're not risking any loss in coins. So you keep on growing over time. You're becoming a bigger whale in the system, and you can protect the price even more. Now, I don't know. There's like talks about strategies. This might make it easier to keep the peg above it. I'm not sure, but I think it will make it easier as it's all automated and stuff. And the people that grow big can automate it as well, which will make it even more easier because you don't have to do anything. It's just automated.
And it doesn't take much, right? It just takes I guess the way people have like trepidation about burning their coins, like for iBurn and things. People may be a bit hesitant to do this, but it's in your benefit, because it gets the wheel turning again. And it doesn't take much. Like it just took me and Elliot to do a little tiny buy to push us back into that range. So when more people see that and start doing that,
it took us a lot of time as well. Weeks.
What I'd like to see that I haven't seen a whole lot of yet from the community, because we got such a great community. So I'd love to see those who are providing liquidity taking some of those fees and buying and helping keep that PGIF ratio above the GIF plus 10 pulse ratio. I'd love to see them use those fees they're earning and stack coins at the same time. So is that the most efficient? So if we do have that, PGIF above that, is that for the protocol? That's the most efficient way for the protocol to is that the ideal way everyone wants to see it? Right now, it's just kind of like, wow, there's this interesting opportunity to get PGIF cheaper than GIF right now. If that goes away, then it goes back to, you have the incentive to ARB and mint and do all that stuff again. Is that kind of, you think it'll then you can stack pulse and more coins that way? Yeah, absolutely, because it really kicks in the system the way it's intended to be designed and intended to be used to help drag both tokens back up. So you can actually stack more GIF, more pulse, technically more PGIF as a result, and have the price of your bags go up all at the same time. It is a win-win-win over and over again, as SMO Spider says here.
If you know the opportunities right now in Giff, again, if you didn't come in, early, maybe you're like, oh, the price is high or whatever. If you understood what we're talking about as far as the PGIF being lower and the different ARB opportunities and the way it's, the minting and burning and all the stuff we talked about, I think you may see some interesting things going on here that may not be here forever. I mean, once it goes the other way, I mean, who knows? We'll see.
And we haven't even attached all the other flywheels to it yet. So
that's the cool part. There's so many more gears to add. First gear, shout out to Boop.
Yeah, we're just in first gear right now.
Third gear, who knows? Maybe Pulsar, we'll see.
I feel like we're idling. We're just turning the key.
I did want to give a shout out to an old friend of mine named Yahilo. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Jahilo.
Yes. All right. I was referencing to just for the gears to I think because Giff was answering a question in the Pulsar chat. They're like, oh, I thought Pulsar was supposed to be next. He's like, well, yeah.
Oh, that actually,
we need another experiment, right?
That's I should say, like we were talking about what's next. That's I think what I'm most excited for, because it's then multi-chain, right? We can have wrapped assets on two chains. And there's a new ARB. There's an ARB between the wrapped assets on one side and the other. So there's an ARB within an ARB. That could be crazy. So I'm talking about, bringing in new money, new eyes, new communities. I think that's what it is.
Yep.
And also, Richard Hart has the SAC money in ETH right now. So if, don't be shy to start broadening your horizons and thinking multi-chain.
The code's done for the most part. Just some optimizing of it, but we're not as big a hurry to get that out there yet. I won't say too much more on that. There's some strategic things behind that, but it's definitely something we are super excited about too. Trust me, the Pulsar team is super excited about what Pulsar is going to bring and how it can bridge different communities across different chains. So finding the two L1s, as Crypto Koolaid likes to say, and I think it's beautifully said when he says that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've got the spaceship. Trust me, what's actually going to happen when we do this is going to be crazy. But you also don't want to rush things. If to rush prematurely is not part of our pillars. And since we uniquely deploy and critique our own work very, very, very strategically. I mean, the Giff is surgical. I'm spatial. He cuts every piece of fat and thinks about things more than people even understand. That when we start to go multi-chain, it's going to be fun. And guess what? We have a positive community. We have a positive group of people. We don't take toxicity. Yeah. We can bring this type of stuff to any chain and bring the positivity that it brings back into that ethos instead of the me and it's about about all of us together, which I think is more monumental than absolutely anything. Pure
speculation. I'm going with Ink next. I'm calling it here. I'm going with Ink next. I have no idea, but I'm gonna call that just because I'm excited about somebody building on Ink. But I'll take pretty much anything as far as hopefully more buy and burn for PGF and the rest of the gift coins. I think it'll be fun. But gents, great conversation. Went overtime. You guys made me go over time because you were just talking such good words. And yeah, glad to get you guys together and meet some new folks as well that I've seen in the chat. What do you guys want to take us out on?
Max, you used to call me Hex Mole.
You know what? Mole. Is there a movie with Mole? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you thought I was like guacamole.
Yeah, no. He's now my three amigos, right? Like going back to the old cartoon from back in the day. He's now my three amigos.
Oh my god, it's definitely a term of endearment. It was just like I was like, maybe it's Mole. It looks like maybe I just wanted to be Hex Mole. That's why.
Yeah, I think so.
That chocolate good mole sauce. Mwah, love that.
I would like to thank all of you. I would like to thank all of you for being able to come on the stream.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Who wants to
I
take
love
us out
talking to
on
these
Yeah,
guys.
great-
We got
great
the best
stream, guys.
community. We do. We have the best sub community, in my
Proof
opinion.
of community.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's it.
someone will attack me, someone with an orange in their profile, but I love our community. So,
Well, I mean, I attack your nipples daily, so it's not really an issue.
I love those guys
Careful.
too, but I just our community. I just love how positive it is in our chat.
And that's the whole thing about ideally, we want to bridge all positivity through community together, right? And I mean, understanding that silos are important to make sure that people are protected is fine. I understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a
but
lot of validity to that.
No, 100. You want to take care of your village, right?
Mhm.
And 100. But ideally, we can build villages together instead of the negativity, because negativity never heals well. Positivity always extends the hand.
Yep.
Be careful. This thing's going to get so big,
Yeah.
you're going to get attacked with hugs by gearheads.
Honestly, I would.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's better than the
Yeah.
stuff I see on Twitter about myself all the time, and I don't even live there ever. So,
Yeah, but your nipples are
I'm okay with
Hear ya. Anyways, gents, great stream. Anyone who's just joining in, you've missed a lot. Hashtag replay gang. Get in there, learn about the tech or not, totally up to you. I've been fascinated with it for the last few weeks or so, and I'm glad to have these guys in here who seem to share a lot of the same passions for real DeFi and a lot of fun stuff on PulseChain. And
GoRealDeFi.com.
stuff. GoRealDeFi.com.
GoRealDeFi.com.
To use the PulseChain apps with a little pretty little nice words and pictures and all that stuff too. All right, everyone. That's all we got for you today. Scivive and 5555. We are out.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Peace out, guys.